We're going to focus on the sacral chakra today, which is located between our hip points. So in that low belly area, and that's going to be our focus for this month of October. And there's it's got some nice things, you know, it's got some nice aspects to it. Yay! That's great, Kay. So the sacral chakra is our chakra for having fun, being a bit playful, being creative, being fluid and flexible. So thinking about that sort of, I flow like water, which is kind of nice sometimes if you, like me, are sort of a little bit sort of straight lines. It's nice to be a little bit go with the flow. So those are some things. It's also about having healthy boundaries. So thinking about, you know, in our body, in our life, you know, sort of doing things that serve us sometimes and not sort of, you know, going and doing things that aren't as good for us as they could be. So healthy balance, I think. So with that said, and like I said, the color is orange and it's located between the hip points, just in that sort of low belly area. So we'll be doing a few moves that support that chakra today and thinking about the fluidity. So some of our movements are a little bit flowy and sort of more fluid and flexible. I'm going to go back and sit in my chair now and we will get started. So welcome and thank you for joining today. It's lovely to have you all here. So we'll start. Now, I've got more of my upper body visible because we're not doing too many feet things today. So if I do feel that I need to, I can move forward, but probably don't need to be so much observation of feet. So find where your soles of your feet can connect with the earth. And just take a moment to feel that sense of grounding through the soles of the feet. Feeling a little bit of connection with the earth. Most of you probably aren't as daring as me with bare feet. You've probably got your socks on or your slippers. But imagine that your soles of your feet are connecting with the earth. We'll take a couple of rounds of breath here. So finding where you're comfortable, length through the spine, a little lift through the torso, soft shoulders. Perhaps you tuck the chin. You might like to close the eyes. Beginning to focus or tune into the breath. If it feels right for you, you might bring a hand to the belly and a hand to the heart. It just means that you can then feel that sort of soft, rhythmic movement of the body and the breath. We'll take about 4 rounds of breath here, just observing, beginning to be a bit more aware of how our breath is flowing. You might make the breath a little longer, a little deeper. Take 2 more rounds of breath here. Just feeling the body softening, letting the mind quiet, bringing the focus to the breath. And at the end of the next exhale, we can bring the hands back down to rest where it's comfortable for you. And you might open the eyes. We're just going to do a little movement in the shoulders. I like this one. We're going to release any stale air. So just taking a big breath in and just draw the shoulders all the way up to the ears. You can even scrunch up the face. So we're taking a big inhale. And we're going to release the breath with a big sigh. Sometimes the shoulders drop down really fast, or you can let them ease down slowly. So let's do that twice more. Just getting rid of any sort of stale air or stale energy that we don't need. So inhale. And if you want to, you can screw up the face, you can scrunch up the eyes, you can sort of squeeze the face and then release. It's like letting air out of a balloon, isn't it? We'll do one more. Inhale. And release. And hopefully you feel a little lighter. I always feel a little bit sort of lighter after I've done that little movement. So we'll start with working our way down our body today. So we'll start with our head and neck. So let the shoulders really soften and relax away from the ears. The gaze is forward, and we're going to exhale to drop the chin down towards the throat. So this is our exhale. And inhale to send the gaze up towards the sky. So we're just doing a really slow nod. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. And just moving gently with the breath, inhaling. And we will bring the chin down to the throat. Exhale. And as the chin's tucked into the throat, just let those shoulders relax away a little more. Bring the gaze forward. Take an inhale and exhale, turn towards the right. Inhale, gazing forward. Exhale, turning and gazing towards the left. We don't have to go too far. Making it a small movement, just somewhere where you can feel a gentle lengthening and softening into the side of the neck. We'll do one more each side. Turn. Coming back. And bringing the gaze back to center. And we'll drop that chin down towards the throat again. And then we're just going to sort of slowly bring the right ear over towards the right shoulder. And then just flowing back through center. Left ear to left shoulder. Trying to make sure those shoulders don't sort of try and lift up. So really drawing the shoulders down the back. Floating right ear to right shoulder. It's like a little semicircle forward and left ear to left shoulder. We'll do one more to each side. Floating down, across. This movement can be quite small, so you can move just a tiny bit, or you can move a little bit more depending on what feels good in your body. Now we'll bring the ear back to that first side, just slowly rolling forward and around. Just pausing here for a moment. So we're sort of gazing forward. If you like, you can take the opposite arm. So we've got the right ear towards the right shoulder, and we can take our left hand, just place it behind the back if that feels good. So I'm just going to scoot a little forward in my chair. So you might place the hand just at the sacrum, just at the low back, or if you have a bit more space, you can bring it through and maybe reach round and bring that sort of right arm back. So you're sort of taking, fingers might be reaching through for that right forearm. Keeping the ear just relaxing down towards that shoulder. Now we'll move the gaze so we can sort of lift the head a little and gaze up. So gazing up towards the right, and then we're gazing down towards the left. We'll do that twice more. So inhale, lift and gaze up. exhale, lower, gazing down. One more, inhale up, and exhale down. I'm going to release the hand if you had it behind the back, bringing it back to rest on the thigh, and then circling that head to the other side. Take a moment to get yourself settled, so wherever feels comfortable, deciding if you want to move the right hand and bring it behind the back if that's comfortable. It just creates a little bit more length in the side of the neck. And what you did on the other side might be a little different than what you do on this side. You might have a bit more room. So finding where you're comfortable, getting yourself settled, and then that little gaze up and gaze down. Gazing up and down. We'll do one more in each direction. Inhale, lift up to the left and lowering down towards the right. Bringing the head back to the center point, that sort of neutral position. Release the hand, drop the chin, bring it back to center, and then lifting the gaze. Would you come right into some shoulder rolls? I always feel like when I release my neck, then the tension travels a little. I like to sort of do some shoulder rolls now because this is nice and soft, but then the shoulders that support the neck need a little bit of sort of love as well. So gentle rolls, maybe 3 or 4 in each direction, rolling back, forward, and maybe a couple more. And then see how it feels to just circle the right shoulder. So one side. Going in both directions. You just need to do a couple, 2 or 3 in each direction. It's just sort of feeling into how it feels to move one shoulder without moving the other. Circle forward, beautiful. And circling back. Fantastic. And then see if you do one forward and one back, sort of like that. It's a bit like swimming. So we're doing our forward stroke with our swimming, and then we can do our back stroke. Here we are, beautiful. Now your shoulders might feel nice and loose and relaxed, quite soothed. So coming back, we'll do one more movement specifically designed for this area of the body. So we're going to lift the right arm. Now it doesn't have to go too high. So the options are you could lift it up or you could bring it into cactus. So either movement is fine, depending on the range of movement. I'm going to stick with cactus. So we're going to lift the arm up and we're going to gaze up. And then as we lower the hand, we're going to turn away from that hand. So we're lowering down and we're turning and gazing in the opposite direction. And then as we lift, we bring the gaze back forward. So lifting up and turning away, lowering the arm. So this is a really nice sort of release into the neck and shoulders. So lift, turn and lower. Inhale up and exhale, lower. We'll do one more each side. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Super. Fantastic. And then we'll do a little bit of lifting and lowering of the arms, and you could add the feet in with this one if you want. So we're just going to let the hands float up, maybe just to shoulder height. You might bring your heels up off the ground as well onto the toes, and then float the hands down, lowering the heels. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Lifting up and floating down. Beautiful. A little bit of circular movement that's going to help a little with the brain. So inhale, circling the arms out. And when you bring the hands together, we're going to cross the wrists and float them down through heart center. So we've sort of got that one wrist on top of the other. And we'll do 3 more circles in this direction. So see if you can remember which wrist you had on top, so you can alternate. Circling out, around, different wrist on top, floating down. 2 more in this direction. Inhale, feel like you're gathering up a whole lot of energy. And then you're just letting it wash down over the body as the wrists come down. We'll do 1 more in this direction. Inhale, lift. Flowing that energy down through the body. This time, inhale, wrist cross, lift. And you're going to press out. So feel a little expansion through the heart. You don't need to go too far. This could even look like more of a cactus arm, so the arms float up. You might not go too high. And then you just sort of spread the palms out, pressing away. We'll do 2 more. Inhale. Sometimes if you've got a watch or something on a wrist, it's good, it reminds you. But then sometimes you think, oh, which wrist was that watch on? So trying to keep that in mind of which wrist goes on top, floating away. Beautiful. Flowing the arms down. Fantastic. That's wonderful. And let's just scoop up all that beautiful energy. Arms touch overhead, bringing it down through heart center. Fantastic. Super. Now we're just going to do a little side stretch, quite a gentle one. So we'll start with sweeping the arms overhead, or as far as they feel comfortable. And then we're going to take one. We'll start with the right finger and thumb clasping around the left wrist. And I'll just get myself a little comfy on my chair. And then we're going to just find a little extension through the side. So we don't have to be too lifted, but we're just finding that little extension. The clasp around the wrist is to just sort of remind the arm to sort of be open. I'll give you a different option just in a minute. So we'll get the movement part. So we're here, and then we're just going to do a little upper body circle where we sort of circle forward. So we're expanding through the upper back, and we're circling the body round, coming back up, and then we're going to drop one arm down and find a side stretch. Now, if this doesn't feel great, having the wrist clasp, you could do the same thing with a cactus. So you might be here, and you might just sort of find that little expansion and broaden through the chest, and then come back up, and then drop that hand down. So let's try that on the other side. So you're here, you're going to lift up, find your side stretch, little circle round. Don't have to go too far, and then coming back. So same side where you started, drop the hand down. Lift that hand up over to the other side. So this is our being fluid like water. Gentle rotation forward and then back. So we're doing a little bit of and then hand down. So what we're doing is we're just creating a little bit of fluidity into that upper back. So hand up, over to the other side. Little gentle roll forward. We don't have to go too far. Coming back, over, and down. And then float that hand back. Maybe the palms touch just overhead. And we'll find a little twist. So rotation to the right. Inhale, arms up. rotation to the left. One more each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then bringing yourself back to center. Beautiful. We will just take 2 rounds of breath just to see how we feel. Just sort of focus back into the breath and just take a moment to notice how your body feels. So one more breath here. Fantastic. And now we'll start to do some movement into the spine, a little bit of fluid movement into our spine. I'm going to turn sideways so you can have a little bit more of an idea of some of these subtle movements that we're going to do. So starting with our little bit of a pelvic tilt, so that in my class I taught before, I said, just pretend that you're like a duck and you're going to stick your duck's tail out and then you're going to tuck your duck's tail in. So a little duck, tuck it in. So you can say duck, tuck, duck, tuck. One more. Duck, tuck. And then this time when we go into our duck, we'll also bring the sort of slightly the belly in. So we're going to do our duck, and we've got that little bit of expansiveness here in that belly region. And then we're going to sort of round. So we're tucking and we're drawing navel to spine. So just see how you can feel that nice fluid, little bit of fluidity. You don't need to make too much of a movement. I hope you can see because it's kind of a little subtle, but hope my cues explain. Okay, so we've got our duck, we've got our belly, and now we're going to have our heart. So when we sort of inhale, this is our inhale breath, we've got our duck out, our belly out, and we're shining our heart. And then we're going to draw all that back in. So broaden through the upper back, chest draws in, belly in, tucking in the tailbone. Inhale. Let everything expand. And when you exhale, find that little bit of contraction. And then you can let the head join in as well. So when we inhale and open and broaden, we can send the gaze up a little. And when we round, we can tuck the chin. So we're now doing our seated cat-cows, but we've just sort of had a little look at all the areas of the spine that are involved. So maybe do 3 or 4 more. And if you want to create a little bit more expansion, you could add some arm movement. So inhale to cactus arms, expand and contract. Forearms come together, chin tucks down. Do a few more, open. And just do whatever movement feels good for you. So sometimes the arms are nice and sometimes you like to just feel that sort of fluid, supple movement in the spine. Do one more here. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll bring the hands down. We're going to start to do a little bit of circling. We are moving like water, of course, today. So what I'd like you to try when we start is coming back to that little movement that we did. So see if you can do a really small circle with just moving the pelvis. I'm doing it. Am I moving at all? Maybe not. You must all be doing a perfect job because none of you are really moving. So if you're doing that little movement, it's sort of quite subtle, but it feels quite nice to Just work into a little gentle circle. And then you can try the other way. And then maybe you want to bring a little bit more of the spine into it, so you could start to make the movement a little bigger. Circling round. Make sure you move in both directions. And then we are going to bring the knees apart. But before we do that, I'm just going to bring our feet a little closer together. And we'll do a little bit of a butterfly move. We're just in the right spot. So I thought I'd bring that in now. So what we're going to do is we're just going to bring the knees out. So you might even sort of have I have to move a little further forward on my chair, sorry. So bring the knees out. Might need to have the feet a little further away. Trying to keep that sort of lifted position and then bringing the knees in. Inhale, open. Exhale. This is a nice one for the chakra that we're focusing on. Inhale, exhale. Do one more. Inhale, exhale. Beautiful. And then maybe heel toe the feet out a little wider. So find where you sort of feel the opening a little wider of the knees. We'll take a moment here just to sort of feel a little bit of extension and lengthening through the inner thighs before we bring a little bit more movement in here. So inhaling and lifting up through the body, and a little bit of sort of lengthening. You could bring the knees to the inside if that's comfortable. And then we'll inhale to reach the arms up. And exhale to just have the hands float forward. So reaching up and down. Beautiful. Sort of like a ballerina move. Exhale. Let's do one more. Inhale, reach up. And then this time when you come down, you could lean over to one side. So you've got one forearm resting. We'll find a little bit more length through the side body. Now, there's a few options here. You may just keep that sort of hand on that thigh and just sort of lifting up and out of that hip. You could bring a cactus or the arm up and over. So you do you. I'm just going to keep my arm here, but I like how all of you have chosen something that feels good in your body today. Take one more breath. And then we're going to inhale up. We'll move to the other side. So finding the place that feels right for you on this side. Remembering that it may be something different. Lifting. One more breath. And then lifting up, coming back. Walk those feet back in. Perfect. And now we're going to do a couple of seated warrior poses. Well, one's a seated version of a low lunge, and then we'll do a warrior two. So modify however much you do. We'll sort of work up and we'll work into it. So yeah. Sorry. Okay, so starting with we're going to alternate with the legs. So inhale to lift the right knee. So keeping that length through the body, and a little lift, lift the knee, and then lower. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, lower. We'll do two more on each side. So lifting. And after this, we're going to add our arms in if that feels good for you. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. This time, let's have a try with arms. So you could either lift the arms up or you could have cactus. I might try cactus. I think this is quite good. And then exhale, lower. So it's like a seated version of our high lunge. So we've got a bent knee, we've got arms up. We can even find a little bit of expansion through the heart. Lowering down. Let's do one more on each side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Last one. Lifting up and lowering down. So that's our lunge. Now we're going to have a try at a seated warrior two. So let's do a little warm up into our hips to start with. So we'll start on the right side. So we're going to open the hips. So inhale, maybe open the gate, or lift out and down. Inhale and exhale. So finding which movement, we'll do that once more. Lift and open. So that's where we want to have our knee in that sort of side position. Bringing the knee back. Okay. And this time we'll come into our warrior two pose. So inhale, open out. So our knees out. We're going to sort of turn and gaze along that leg. And we're going to bring our arms out. So in our warrior pose, we have our torso facing forward, the upper body's turning, and we're sort of gazing. That back arm sometimes falls a bit down. So see, another option is to have a little bit more cactus, or you can have sort of, you could even just have the hands resting at the waist if that feels better for you. But sort of finding that sort of lift in the body and a little twist. If it's okay to bring the arms out, then we'll just hold for a breath. Beautiful. And then releasing down, bringing that knee back in. Try that on the other side. So starting with that opening out, so that little open, the gate, close. Carry on with a couple more of those, or you could do the lift and open. Inhale, exhale. One more of this hip opener, opening out and coming back. You can come into that warrior anytime you want. And then this time, bringing the arms, extending. A bit of a power pose, so you can feel that nice sense of having a bit of an inner strength. Take one more breath here. And then bringing the hands down, bringing the leg in. Just going to check how long we've got. We'll do one round of both poses. So we'll start with our lunge, coming into our warrior, and then I want to do a little stretch out for our legs. So firstly, that lifting up, so lift. This is our lunge. And then bringing the foot out to the side, so we're coming into our warrior. You can modify, you can sort of choose to make it a little different to get there. So inhale, coming back. Exhale, lower down. And do one on the other side. So inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now we'll do one more round, and I'll just do a slightly different version of coming into it. So you might inhale and lift up onto the toe. So you're more on keeping that foot down, and then you might slide the leg around. So this is a sort of a slightly more gentle version that you might sort of feel like you'd like to do if you wanted to do a few rounds and repeat it without creating such a strong sort of movement. Then inhale, slide that leg back on the toe, and then release down. So listening to your body. Same thing on the other side. So you can do the version you want if you like to have the foot lifted. I'm just sort of making a sort of just an alternate if you needed it. Sliding round, coming into that. Beautiful. Lengthened, strengthened, warrior 2. Virabhadrasana 2. Bringing that back. And lowering down. Beautiful. Nice. So we'll do just a couple of rounds of stretching. It's a seated version of our Janu Shirshasana, one sort of forward fold with one leg extended. I'm just working out the easiest way to sort of demonstrate. I'll come this way to the edge of the chair. So, yeah, a little side view. Bent knee on the left leg, long extension on the right leg. There we are. I think you can see I'm halfway turned. Beautiful. Now we're going to take the left hand behind the back to create just a little bit of support of the back. And our inhale, lifting the arm, perhaps cactus or extended. Exhale, folding forward. Now you might not like to go too far. This might be where you want to be. If you have a little bit more range of movement, you can slide down. You can go however far feels good. And we'll lift back up. Inhale, lift. And then we'll fold back down. We'll make this the last one of these today. You might like to bring the other hand down. Perhaps it rests on your thigh, shin. Some of you might be reaching down to the ground, but whatever feels good. And wherever you are, bring both hands to the front of the leg. So we can do a nice sort of unroll. So we're curling up. I always think it's like a little seedling coming out of the earth. So that sort of seed and it shoots up and it unrolls. And then the last thing that comes out are the little leaves. That's your head popping up. Beautiful. We'll do that on the other side. So switching round. So right knee bent, left leg extended. This, don't lock out the knee. So you might even have a little bit more of a softer knee than me. So you might sort of have the leg like that, but we don't want to have that really locked sensation. So softness into the knee. Hand behind the back to support. So we're working with the same leg. Inhale, extend. Exhale, gentle fold. And just sending the breath into the back of the leg, just feeling that sort of lengthening and extending. Do one more lift and lower. Inhale, up. And exhale, gentle fold down. If it feels good, bringing the other hand down as well. Head's heavy. One more breath. And then sliding up once more. That little seed, that little shoot popping out of the ground, slowly rolling up. Head, neck, and shoulders come last. Beautiful. Bringing our feet back to center. Finding our comfortable position on our chair. Feeling the connection with the earth. We'll just finish with a short relaxation. I might come. I've got better sound now, but I still quite like to come forward so I can see you all. So I'm going to be here. You can just sit comfortably in your chair. So you might like to close the eyes or soften the gaze. So returning to that place where we were at the start of the class, that place where you feel comfortable and connected. So feeling the body softening and relaxing into the chair. Releasing the whole body. Letting everything soften and relax. And now gently bringing awareness back to that place between the hip points and the low belly. Svadhisthana, our sacral chakra. And just picturing a beautiful, warming orange light, a gentle glow in that low belly. And just feel that warming, soothing, healing light flowing down into the legs. Feeling the legs relaxing and softening. Softening into the knees, the shins, the calves. Let the feet completely relax and soften. Feeling your connection with Mother Earth, a sense of being grounded, connected. Now feel that warming, soothing, healing orange light flowing up through the torso. Feel the spine soften and lengthen. Your belly gently rises and falls with your breath. Feel your heart expanding, broadening through the chest. Healing, loving energy flowing in through the heart space. Shoulders soft and relaxed. Back of the neck is really long. Relax the face, soften the brow, soften the jaw. Lift the corners of the mouth into a gentle smile. Whole face, whole body, comfortable, relaxed, at ease. Taking a couple more rounds of breath here. Sending any loving energy to any area of your body that needs it now. Allowing the breath to soothe and nurture. Now slowly bringing a little movement back into the body, a little wriggle of fingers, a gentle wriggle of toes. When you're ready, bring the palms of the hands together, rub them, create some warmth. Place the warmed hands over the eyes, slowly opening and closing the eyes behind the hands. Rubbing the palms together again. Place them over the eyes once more. Blink, blink, blink. Take your hands and wrap them round your shoulders. Give yourself a great big hug. Say to yourself, I am a creative being. I allow myself to play and have fun. Unwrapping the arms, wrapping them in the other direction. Give yourself one last hug. Saying to yourself, I am fluid and flexible. I move like water. I flow through my day with ease. When you're ready to release that hug, bring the hands back to heart center into our Anjali Mudra. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. The inner joy in me sees and acknowledges the inner joy in all of you. Namaste.